Hey, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Ken. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to do an absolutely fantastic dish from the island of Kerkyra, or in layman's terms, Corfu. This is a very traditional dish. It's served throughout Greece, but it does hail from Kerkyra or Corfu, and it uses a few simple spices and ingredients. It uses a buccatini style pasta, which is one of my personal favorite. In fact, this meal is probably in my top favorite of all times. If this was my last meal, this is probably one of my choices. So to start us off, we're gonna have to brown off our chicken, and for this, we're gonna add 5 or 6 tablespoons of Greek extra virgin olive oil into our pot. Get that heating up because we're gonna have to brown our chicken first. And as always, because I'm using chicken with the bone-in, skin on, skin side down, always. Perfect. Now our chicken is browning slowly. Next thing I'm gonna do is slowly start adding in some salt, a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper, and we're gonna season in stages as well. We don't wanna go too heavy all at once. Alright, so this is all about the time management as well. So now it's time to turn over our chicken that's browning. And you want it to give it a nice brown crispiness to this. And that's also gonna flavor our oil as well for the next part of the cooking process. Once again, we season the other side of the chicken with a little bit of salt, some fresh cracked black pepper as well. So while our chicken is finished browning, the next part of this is to chop up an onion. You don't have to get too complicated with this. You don't have to get, ninja all kind of funky. Just do the best you can and as small as you're comfortable with. You don't have to get all microscopic and braided and all that. No need for that. Whatever way you can do it that's easiest, so you don't wind up losing a finger either. Once our chicken comes out, we're ready to add our other ingredients, which is like our onion, our garlic, and whatnot. And again, just chop it as finely as you can. In this case, I'm not going to be that picky with the garlic. I'm just going to chop it, or actually just slice it, and just be done with it. So now our chicken is just about done. It's brown, not done, but it's brown. I'm just going to take it out real quick. And once we take it out of our pot here, we're going to start adding our other ingredients and actually start building our flavor profile. So I'm going to leave this here for now. And then I'm just going to take my onion, nice and easy. In this case, I'm using a red onion or a purple onion. You can use whatever you have, white is fine. And just get that moving around in there. Now is when all this Greek or that Mediterranean flavor starts coming out with the basic olive oil, garlic, and onion. And that's fantastic. Now what's happening at the bottom of our pan as well, if you can just see here, there's a whole bunch of brown happening. That's actually not burning, it's actually flavor, or an intense flavor that's going to come out when we deglaze this. So now our onions are in, nice and easy. Throw in our sliced garlic. A couple of cloves go in there. And you're going to do this now. You're going to leave this in there for about maybe a couple minutes. Just enough for the onions to get translucent and your garlic to start actually releasing some of its oils and some of the flavors. Simple cooking, believe me. In Greek cooking, like most truly traditional cuisines, it's just a few basic, simple ingredients, herbs, or spices. Greeks in my village where I come from never use things like cornstarch or chicken stocks or beef broths or anything like that. That's not part of the authentic Greek experience. So a lot of people are out there peddling that, and that's fine. It improves the flavor, or not improves the flavor, but it gives it a different flavor, but it's not really traditional Greek cooking. So now that our onions and our garlic are going in, now we start building the real flavor profile to this. And for this I'm using 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, ground cayenne pepper, half a teaspoon of cumin, and you're gonna think that cumin is like, it's gonna get lost in here. It's not. That little bit of like a half teaspoon, you could even go like 1 teaspoon, will actually, you'll actually taste it in this. And of course, no Greek style red sauce would be complete without 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon and 2 whole cloves. So those go in there as well, and I'll get these out of the way. Put them there. Now, this is where the magic starts happening. This is like one of my favorite parts of these recipes, because now the spices are getting heated up with the onion and the garlic. Those of you that know or have had this dish will know exactly what I'm smelling right now. The next part of this, a little bit of nutmeg. And for this, do about 1/8 to 1/4 of a nutmeg pod, just over your pod here. Nothing complicated. Nutmeg is done and in. The next part of this, red wine. You're gonna need about 1.5 cups or so of red wine, and along with this, 1/2 cup of red wine vinegar. That's the kicker to this recipe. So our red wine vinegar goes in. So now, this is where the deglazing starts. All that goodness from the bottom of our pan with the browning of the chicken and the sauteing of the onions and the garlic, I can just feel it now. All of it's just coming loose, and it's becoming almost like a gravy in terms of color. So now, let this go for a couple or so minutes, just to let the alcohol burn out of the wine. The red wine vinegar will actually mellow out as well. And from here, we can start adding the next part. All right, so the next part, a couple of tablespoons of tomato paste will go in, just like that, out of the way. Give that a quick stir and just let the tomato paste kind of melt down and kind of develop its flavors in with this broth sort of thing. There is a little bit of heat to this dish, I will tell you, with the cayenne pepper, but don't panic. You can serve this to anybody. It's not something that'll make you feel like your colon exploded the next day. It's just something that's like a hum or a buzz in the background. So now that this is going, I'm gonna add 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. Those are going in just like that. So far so good. There's really nothing complicated to this dish at all. We just add our tomatoes in here now. Bring that up as well. And you're gonna add another 28 ounces of water. Now, back to our seasoning. Again, a little more salt. You don't need a ton of salt in this, because remember, we're gonna doll this up with mizithra or kefalotiri, if you guys can get a hold of some, which is that traditional hard cheese from Greece. If not, you can kind of do the Parmesan route, which is fine, I guess. I'm kidding, I love Parmesan too. A little bit more pepper will go into this. And now what we're gonna start doing is slowly, as our sauce comes up to temperature, bring back our chicken and bring it into our sauce. So now that our chicken's being added in, we basically bring this up to a boil, cover it up, let it simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour until the sauce tightens up, reduces, and we start working with our pasta. All right, so now we're halfway through our cooking process. Our chicken thighs are well on their way to getting braised in our luscious tomato sauce. Time to add in our pasta, and in this case I'm using 450 grams or about a pound of buccatini or any kind of long, thicker noodle you can find. I will tell you that this recipe here is an exception to the Greek pasta rule. Greeks will boil the shit out of their pastas until it's literally like a soggy I don't know what. This case, what we're going to do is we're going to boil our noodles in salted water for about 6 to 7 minutes just to soften them up as al dente. But then what we're going to do is pull our chicken out and finish the cooking process of the pasta in our actual tomato sauce. So I'm just going to pop these in and we'll be right back and take it from there. Alrighty then, so now our pasta is about 6 or 7 minutes into the al dente stage. So I'm just going to take it and move it here, getting ready now to incorporate our pasta with our sauce. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way. Just put this here. And in our serving platter, what I'm going to do is very simply take my chicken out. Now carefully, because our chicken has softened quite a bit. And what you're going to do is place it in the middle of your serving platter. And what we're going to do after is place our pasta all around our chicken, like a little nest of flavor. So that goes there like that. Did I miss anything? No, it's all there. Our sauce is fantastic. It's thickening up nicely. It's exactly what I want. So I'm just going to leave this here. And now what I'm going to do is very simply move this closer and place my pasta with the water without straining it into my sauce. I'll just move this here closer because I'm trying to do this as gracefully as you can. And you see, our pasta actually has got a little bit of bite or chew to it, which is exactly what we want. And now what's going to happen is it's going to finish actually the cooking. Shit, that wasn't supposed to happen, but here, put that there. Put everything in there and just start mixing it around and just let it finish cooking in the sauce. And if you see that the water or the sauce itself is a little too tight, you can add a little bit of water from the pasta, which is totally fine as well. So we're going to leave this in there now for another maybe 5 or 6 minutes till it gets all done and all happy, and we'll be ready to serve this up family style. Alright, finally, it's showtime. I am stoked, pumped, call it whatever you like. I'm just gonna rest this here, and it's time to serve and put our Pastitsada from Corfu together. So very easily, gently, or as gracefully as you can, take your pasta and just lay it around your chicken. You want to nest the chicken in between and be as graceful as you can and just incorporate everything together. So now our platter is done. The next thing to go on top of this is some freshly grated mizithra or kefalotiri. If you don't have mizithra or kefalotiri, that's totally cool. You can substitute parmesan. And just from like a height, or as that English guy says, from a height, just sprinkle it around just like that. Now that, my friends, is a meal fit for a king, and it's gonna impress the crap out of anybody you serve this to. It is so freaking delicious. So that is Greek Pastitsada from the island of Corfu or Kerkyra. I had a blast making this video. I really enjoyed this. I will be serving this up this evening for dinner, and I think you guys should definitely try this. This is a simple meal. It's basically two pots. It's basically your sauce pot and your pasta pot. That's it. Common ingredients, not hard to find, and super, super delicious. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. Please hit the like button and remember to subscribe. And until next time, I'm Ken, aka the Lazy Greek Gourmet. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.